How's it going, everyone? Tdraguuno here, and welcome back to another figure review. Today we'll be reviewing the Ultra Street Fighter 2 Final Challenger, Blanka. Blanka is another big figure of the line, big as Sagat, around the range of $30 to $35, $40. Luckily, I got this one for $35. Looks like he comes with his classic electrical attack, where you press the depending on the controller, A button or X button rapidly. Got his accessories of 2 claw hands over here, an extra face where he's yelling over here, and a nice teeth gritting ace. Right, this is the front of the box. Side of the box. Blanka, origin from Brazil. Style, electricity, Pharaoh maneuvers. Blanka-chan, experience the wild. Here's the back position of his regular pose, idle pose. The rest of the characters that you may perhaps get. Your bottom information and the top view to look at his glorious flowing orange hair. Without further ado, let's open them up. Always be aware that these things are well packaged with wires that you have to cut and a bunch of plastic that you have to remove. They really do care about these figures in the packaging. And even in this packaging, Blanka looks nice. I don't think I mentioned this, but I really like the 2D art of the arcade Blanka profile icon that they have here. I really like this. This is Blanka's one of my mains in Street Fighter 2. This is just really cool to see. Here is the Brazilian background that you can get with Blanka. This very vine-like tree with the anaconda snake wrapping around it. It's always nice to have these background things. My box was a little bit damaged, and so there's a little bit of damage, minor damage wear on this side, and a little bit kind of bent over here. Well, that's okay, because just like a background, it's going to stay in the background. Let's get the accessories out of the way. Like I said before, you have these 2 open claw grabbing hands right here. Sculpted pretty nicely, and I like how they're unique. They're not just like the standard like Lego cup hands. They're actually spread out. They look like actual real hands. Green. Even the tips of the nails for the claws are actually sculpted there. They're not just nubs. Like, they look sharp. And I like that detail. And here's the alternate head with Blanka screaming, whether he's doing a Blanka ball forward or he's doing his famous electrical attack. And this hair is like a soft rubbery plastic. There's no hinge or joint there. But it seems like this will do enough bending where you can get him in various poses. And the hair should not be a hindrance at all. You got this electrical effect pieces where he's doing his electric attacks, where he stomps the ground, or he just is charging up, and he'll be exploding with electricity all around his body. You know, sometimes when I think about Blanka, he's kind of like a Tasmanian devil, but just green and with electricity instead of tornado wind powers. Yeah, these are cool accessories. Something unique, something that's not blasting forward, but something that circles around the character, like aura. If anything, you can also use this for like Dragon Ball displays as well. Nice electrical pieces that are versatile for about anything. Here we have the figure of Blanka. Overall, at this standing general pose, looks nice and detailed and muscular from the back to the side to the front, with his hair, his chest hair poking out here. Maybe something could poke up a bit there, but not bad at all. There's a cut right here for the ab crunch. And this hair part might get in the way, but I don't think it will. We'll find out in the articulation. Let's have a good look at that mouthpiece. I like how they went with a different look and not just a standard either smile or mostly frown. He has a standard teeth gritting face right off the bat. And with this With the side look, he has that extra gritting face where he's squinting his mouth a bit. You can see his gums there on the side. That looks really good. This hair is also a soft plastic, just like the extra piece. That's going to help with articulation. And you can see like a minor little bit of separation from the hair there. But that's not really much of a big deal because you'll be looking at the figure over here. You got the little weathered and tearing of the shorts and the nice feel of the texture of the shorts as well. It's very nice, like the contrast from the skin. He's got hair at his arms as well. Accurate. I don't know, sometimes when I look at Blanka, I feel like the hair maybe should spread out a little bit more. A little more wild, but maybe that's because I usually see him in motion. But I guess this is the standard look for Blanka. Which profile do you guys like more? This side or this side? I kind of lean towards more of this side. Of course, we got hair at the knees. And you got these free spinning leg cups. Got these cuffs down here, and I like the metallic paint that they used. Even though that is still like a plastic, obviously, but they still gave it a metallic look and scratch and weathered because Blanka's usually in the wild, in the jungle, whatever, in Brazil. Since he's usually an outdoorsy person, should look all scuffed and scraped. So great detail there. With some veins going throughout all of part of his body where you can see the skin. Even veins on the fist, just like in the profile picture that's on the box. Very nice that that was captured, all the little veins. Yeah, basically like a green Tarzan. Of course, Blanka is barefoot with those toes looking pointy and mutated as ever. And peg holes at the bottom, which I guess you could use on a stand if you find a stand compatible enough for the Street Fighter line. It's interesting. All the Jada Street Fighters have these pegs, but they don't typically come with stands. They have stands for the accessories, but not the figures. So I haven't tried this yet, but I know McFarlane usually has figures that come with stands. Those might work, or you may find something else. I haven't really tested it because typically they don't need it. But it's nice if you have a compatible stand to stand these figures up. Overall, sculpt and detail looks great. Well, let's move on to articulation and see if it can complement that good look. There's got to be more than just looks. Starting with the head. Despite that look of where it's not going to go through, you actually can bend this around. Just move it slightly and you can get a full 360 rotation at the head, which is great. That's why I said that soft rubbery plastic is going to help a lot with posing. Because right now, if that was hard plastic, that would be impossible to turn. Thank goodness it is not. Let's see, looking up, we got a pretty good hinge at the neck there. Pretty good hinge right here. And I believe there's a ball joint just for the head, I think. And he can look up just with his neck, just like that. Very nice. Another perfect Dragon Ball Z looking up flying pose. Man, I bet E Honda's gonna go crazy because E Honda has a headbutt attacks. So he has to have this type of articulation, which I'm sure he does. Let's see, he's gonna look down like that. If we move this ab crunch here, he can bury his chest with his head looking down like that. And if you can see right here, this goes over that chest hair piece and doesn't do much hindering at all. And even with another joint from this section right here, this actually makes it go forward really well, actually. This is probably one of the best ab crunches that you can use for a character that needs to do the Blanka ball. He might as well be able to do it. Wow. There's a lot of crunch there. Let's see, we got some tight. Alright. Tight but firm butterfly joints there. With a little bit of vein sculpting going out through there. Keep it consistent. Nice. Arms, you're going to move all the way around. Swivel like this. And here. Bending those arms very well. Far better than 90. He can beat his chest like Donkey Kong. At the wrist, we got a twist. And bending up there like that. Bending down. And the same will go for this side as well. Alright, very good articulation so far. Everything feels great, not too tight, not too loose at all. Very firm. See, we can get a little bit of side movement right there with Blanka. Going back the other side. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but I do see like right here, there seems like a little bit of a tiny black smudge mark right there. Just a tiny little nitpick. I can't really rub that off. So yeah, just tiny little black smudge right there. But nothing major. Again, lots of forward motion. We'll get that angle tilt. So that going back this way and going back the other way. Good forward punching movement. Blanka. Yeah, I believe that we can do the Blanka ball. Legs kicking forward. Very well. He's going to kick forward very well. That's a perfect kick forward. Bending at the knee. That's one way to bend it. You can bend even more. That's a good crunching knee. Promising for that Blanka ball. And there should be another joint in there, right? Should be a good swivel at the thigh. It's hidden by the pants. It's another clever detail. Hide the thigh cut with the pants, the shorts. Nice, another soft rubber plastic to get that perfect forward kick lunging attack. Just makes me think of Blanka's moves. Doesn't he kind of get on the ground? Looks this way. I can't do a perfect pose right now, but you know the attack where he does the kick? He does like a little kick up, like a light kick. His foot is kind of something like that. Here's another bend at the knee for you. Look at that. Like there's that attack that Blanka does where he does his knees forward. where he does that double knee kick. Just that's awesome. Seems like we can get him in a lot of ground crunching poses. Let me try one right now, actually. Yeah, there's a real Neanderthal right there. Look at that. The one thing that I say that he needs is that toe hinge. He does not come with a toe hinge like Sagat and Akuma. That is something new Jada did. So maybe when they do a re-release of Akuma, they might give him that toe hinge. But that definitely would sell the look even more if he did have a toe hinge. Here's another Blanka squatting pose. Here's a Blanka crawl. Here's the best I can do with a Blanka crouch. At this point, can't really stand on his feet here because, again, the lack of toe hinge. But at the ankles, they do bend pretty nicely, going that far up and that far back. Just like that. With a twist, add a cut right here at the lower leg, which is usually hidden by this free rotating leg cuff. So yeah, you're not going to see that too much. Of course, there's like an ankle rocker in there at that ball joint. Ankle rocking all the way. And that's pretty much everything for the articulation. And look at that, he can get his foot all the way up there. Overall articulation is more than satisfying, and I believe I can get him in that Blanka ball. Alright, this is the best what I can do with the Blanka ball, and I have to say that's not too bad. For a person, he pretty much is in a ball, lunging forward. If this was in a faster motion, I say that's a pretty successful Blanka ball. Yeah, overall, pretty nice. I also did notice one thing that was interesting. When I was making this ball, you may not be able to tell on camera, but I did notice that the elbows and the knees, the joints for the elbows and the knees, they're like a slightly off green than the rest of the skin green. I don't know if that's showing up, but it's like this green is slightly different than this green. It's like it's a tiny bit off-putting, but not really. If you stare at it long enough, you'll probably notice it. But far away, or just looking at it at a glance, it's not going to be that noticeable. But it does look like that those knee and elbow joints are a slightly different green. But overall, not bad. Not bad at all. I'm also noticing there was like a little bit of a black mark right here and some chipping of paint down there on the orange leg hair. Little chipping, you see the green showing through that orange just a little bit. But overall, still a really nice figure. And with the lack of toe hinge, I would say I give this figure a 8.5 out of 10. Very nice. Areas for improvement, little nitpicky things, but still really great. This is probably the closest I've ever seen Blanka in a Blanka ball ever. So yeah, I will congratulate Jada on that. The Blanka ball is a success. Jumping into some figure comparisons, we have Akuma. As you can see in stature, Blanka is taller than Akuma and much bulkier than Akuma. Scaling looks pretty accurate to me, and these two beside each other in a fight looks really nice and is going to look really nice on anyone's display. I also noticed that they both have a similar teeth gritting face. Up next, we have Tiger. This is where I think Jada excels at scaling. That Sagat is much taller than Blanka, despite both of them having big figure packs and being pretty sizable characters themselves. Sagat is still one of the tallest, if not the tallest character. Well, I think T-Hawk is probably the tallest, but Sagat is probably the top 3 tallest characters in Street Fighter history. What do you all think? Did they look good together? Does this scaling look accurate to you? Tell me in the comments below. Anyway, that'll be it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more toy reviews whenever I upload them. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.